Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. Hey, that was some fancy guitar work, Bobby. For those of you who didn't see it online, he was playing it behind his neck. Great. Thank you. So once again, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. My name is Jim Grove, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center, and I welcome you with Namaste. Namaste stands for the divinity within me greets and recognizes the divinity in each and every one of you. And we love to start our service with that consciousness every Sunday morning. So we have a great Sunday ahead of us today. Um, we have a great service. We're talking about during the month of March, being in the flow of comings and goings. And we know that to be change, don't we? It's constant change in our lives, the comings and goings of events and people and things. But always there's that still small voice, which is God, the Spirit, behind everything. Back of everything, it's always God, and it's within us through every experience that we have. And Reverend Theresa is going to be talking about that very thing this morning, and I'm looking forward to that topic being discussed. So for those of you at home, welcome as well. If you're joining us right now in live time or in a future present moment, welcome to you as well. So if you would, please go with me in prayer as we open our service. I know that there is one divine presence. This presence is spirit. This presence is life. It is love. It is every positive thing that we can think of. Every quality that is positive. That is what God is. And I know that this presence is within me, and it's within each and every person who is hearing my words right now. And I know that in front of us, with the coming of this service, I know that Spirit is right here, and that the words we hear, the songs we hear, everything that we experience and join in with participation, I know that it's all divine and all divinely ordered. And I now allow this service to unfold in all of its divine perfection. I give great thanks for this as I release my word into the law, knowing that it's already working to bring this about. And so it is. But before I turn it over to our musicians for the first song, there's someone that we have to acknowledge today. And you've probably seen maybe Birthday Girl up here on the podium and a little tiara that she's wearing this morning, but it is Reverend Theresa's birthday. And so, come on up. You're not getting out of this. And we would like to just recognize that by singing happy birthday to her today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Theresa. Happy birthday to you.
No need going back to sleep now. You know this. Maybe you can have all the things you ever dreamed of. And maybe you can drive a Hummer down the gold-plated streets with a dove. Of all the fancies you wanna buy, how do they make you feel inside? You can't find your light in a bargain bin. You gotta start that path within. Revolutionize your soul. Revolutionize
was uplifting. What a way to start the day. All right, so this month, the flow of coming and going. If you don't know about the Science of Mind magazine, you need to pick this thing up. This thing gets me through the days. It really is amazing to be reading every day a little spiritual uplifting message. And if you're not familiar with the teachings, this is another way just to dive in and get just a little tidbit every day that lifts your soul. For me, the last couple months have been a whirlwind and a blur. And on our way down here yesterday, I was like, it's March? It's, wait, it's March? It's just a complete blur. And I was going to read something else out of here until this morning when Theresa prayed us in. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to choose joy. Because that is a radical response to all this that's going on outside of us, so rapidly changing, that right now and right here, I'm going to go within and choose joy. And it was a different choice a couple days ago. I still have my mom's, 6 weeks ago, she passed on. And I still have her remembrance sitting in here just to connect me to my mom. And today, I'm choosing joy. So here's the reading for today. It's called The Gift of Joy, from a book by Ernest Holmes called This Thing Called You. Another wonderful gem if you haven't read it. It's about as small as this, but it's packed full. And from that book, it says, I am in the presence of radiant joy, of divine love, and of perfect power. And then from the Science of Mind magazine, we have this quote, each is a center of the all, and each has access to the all through each person's own nature. And here's the short story. I believe that as spiritual beings, we come into life with natural spiritual inheritances that play out through the world of form and circumstances. We don't have to do anything to get them. However, we may have to learn to recognize them and learn how to use them. There are 3 inheritances in particular that are my favorite. I will consider each of them in the following guides. I'm only reading today's. Today is the gift of joy, tomorrow a gift of love, and the third a gift of peace. If you want to know more, pick up the magazine. Okay. The first is joy, which is a natural uplifting essence that can emerge at any time. We do not need a reason to feel joy. Consider this. Funerals and memorials are some of the saddest times in people's lives, yet often during these services, joy may suddenly appear, perhaps as a charming antidote is shared, or just in the opportunity to think about a loved one. If we are thoughtful in our spiritual practices, we can make an open place for joy to appear, but it will underlie everything we do, even difficult things, because it's always within us. Happiness, as a distinct from joy, is usually an event-based. We are happy when things turn out the way we wished, or we are unhappy when they don't, which is why we can't always count on the world of affairs to make us happy. It is joy, divinely given and never withheld, that can show up unburdened and for no particular reason. Perhaps we could come to count on it and anticipate in sudden delight. The affirmation for today: I am the place where God stands forth in the world as me. I am filled with joy. I smile at its quiet underpinnings, and I am willing to be the reciprocal of joy.
Thank you, Rev Gina. Always a blessing when you make it down. So we each have a voice within us, and sometimes the voice roars. Like, revolutionize your soul, right? It's time to revolutionize this thing. And sometimes I have to get really still and really quiet, like being in a really tight space. where things echo, and I listen to what I hear. And what do I hear? Me. And it's in that moment I realize I can program my brain to think anything I want it to think, and I can program my voice in me to say what I want it to tell me when I'm in a hard spot. And I want you to use two of these really simple lines in this song and program yourselves in the next 3 minutes for whatever may come at you in the next week, the next month, the next year, or 4 years. And use these two lines. The first line is one breath at a time. Can you say that? One breath at a time.
One breath at a time.
That's where grace comes in.
That's where grace comes in.
One breath at a time.
One breath at a time.
One more line. One step at a time.
One step at a time.
That's where peace comes in.
That's where peace comes in.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
You'll get it. Do it with us. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. And that's where grace comes in. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. That's where grace comes in. One breath at a time. Let's do that one more time. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. That's where grace comes in. One breath at a time. Now we're going to do a step at a time. One step at a time. There you go. One step at a time. That's where peace comes in. One step at a time. We're going to do that one again. One step at a time. One step at a time. That's where peace comes in. One step at a time. Now let's breathe again. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. That's where grace comes in. One breath at a time. One more. Sing it to the one beside you. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. That's where grace comes in. One breath at a time. One step at a time. One breath at a time. Y'all are amazing.
you, Frankie. My cord's not wrapped all up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. You guys are beautiful. My gosh. For everybody that wasn't here for the opening, you need to listen online because my husband is the bomb. And you missed it. You missed the Jimi Hendrix, so you just need to catch up.
I will.
Yes, yes. Oh, my goodness. So happy birthday to me. Thank you all for all of the love. Thank you, Reverend Gina, for coming down just for my birthday. Thank you, Daniel, for bringing her down just for my birthday. It's all about me. And actually, kind of today, it is a little bit about me. I'm going to indulge myself, and you get to be with me for it. So thank you for coming along. You know, so it's about the still small voice. And I don't know about you, but I've got a few of those voices, and often they're not still. And sometimes there is one that I hear. Ernest Holmes said that that's intuition. He called it intuition, the voice of God in us. You know, we use that word intuition. I mean, we've all maybe heard even conscience, you know, when we were a kid. Similar ideas behind all of that. That there's a truth within us that we can resonate with when we get still, when we allow ourselves that space, that opportunity, right? Ernest Holmes says that it includes the ability to perceive truth beyond logic and reason. That's what that intuition is. And so I found in my life that when I'm listening, it provides me with guidance. And therefore my decisions are made easier. There's an inner wisdom that I can tap into. And so from time to time, I knowingly or unknowingly have, you know, hit upon that, and it's worked out real well. So last week, we began with some ways to pause and observe. And again, if you were not here last week, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to last week. Emily Frost was absolutely brilliant and provided us with the voices of Ram Dass and Alan Watts. Oh my God, it was beyond. It was so good, so wonderful. And so our spiritual practices become who we are when we're really, when we practice, when we're there, when we lean in, when we lean into it. And this ability to hear the small voice, the still small voice, is a practice. It's a practice. So quickly, I want to just cursory go over three. The first one is meditation. And for me, meditation, now in our teaching, we say spiritual mind treatment is our number one tool, and it's not for me. You know what? I buck the system every chance I get. But, you know, it's meditation for me. It is meditation, because that is where I really ground. Now, spiritual mind treatment will help me ground, but I meditate in the same spot every day, and I can sit down in that chair and I sink so quickly because it's become a habit. You know how our habits are. Well, this is a good habit. And it's a good habit that I encourage you to cultivate if you have not already done so. And you can use guided meditation. You can use music. Maybe you want to start with breath work and you just want to breathe. This is one of 4 meditation toys that I have for my granddaughter. Walk in nature, sit in nature. It's scientifically proven to help us on so many levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It sharpens that intuition and it opens us up to that still small voice. That still small voice invites us to stop, right? To stop. And when it becomes a habit, we can then we can use it at any time to stop. We're getting ready to have a conversation. It looks like it's going to go south quick. Stop. Who am I? What am I feeling? What do I need right now? How can I ask to have my needs met? That's our workshop this afternoon. That was a commercial. Joel Goldsmith gives us another one. Practicing the presence, he calls it. Practicing the presence. It's a recognition that God is all there is. God is all there is. And so we simply take time and sit and wait for that one creative intelligence, that unconditioned love to present itself. Because it's always with us. We take the vacation. We go away. It never leaves us. It is us. It's in us. It moves through us. It's breathing us. One step at one breath at a time, right? One breath at a time. And then we have another technique in our teaching called visioning. And you guys know I love to vision, and I vision about all sorts of things. Visioning was a technique, a tool, a spiritual tool developed by the Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith of Agape in LA. And he says visioning is a process by which we train ourselves to be able to hear, feel, see, and grasp that divine idea. Whether it's the divine idea for our lives or the divine idea for a specific project, like we've been visioning for our Shine event at the end of April. You know, what is Spirit? How does Spirit want to show up? Is Spirit going to dance with fire this year? I hope so. But you know, what wants to happen? And so we go there to the silence, to the stillness, to that voice within, to that voice within. We make ourselves receptive and available. That really is the key to what we're doing. And so, as I said, I'm going to indulge myself because it's my birthday. So I'm going to take a little memory trip about some of the times that easily came to me last night about when I heard a voice. And I knew that it was divine calling. I knew that I needed to pay attention. And so I did. Or maybe I didn't, and I had to come back. But I'm sure it has happened my whole life. I'm positive. It has happened my whole life. It happened when I met you, Michelle. Sometime around my 21st birthday, I was ironing, standing at an ironing board, and I heard very clearly, God is real. Because, see, I had not been thinking so. I had not been thinking so. And to the extent that I told my grandmother when I married my first husband, who was a professed atheist, that I didn't need God. I needed him. I needed Brian. Yeah, not God. So I didn't listen, really, when I heard that. But in the words of Barbara Marx Hubbard, she said, your soul must first experience the fierce intensity of living through much testing over many lifetimes and dramatically contrasting life circumstances before it can fully awaken. Then, The awakening finally happens in the form of a powerful and spiritually charged breakthrough lifetime. I might be so bold as to say I feel like this is a breakthrough lifetime. When I was 31, it was September 18th, 1992, and I entered Sarasota High School to the Center for Positive Living. It was my daughter's 3rd birthday, and it was my first husband's and my 10th wedding anniversary, and I went with a girlfriend. And I knew. I had that deep knowing that what I was hearing was truth. It was resonating with me in a way that I could not shake it. I could not deny it. And I was hooked from that moment on. Again, Barbara Marx Hubbard. When you are ready to see through the illusionary nature of all that divides humanity, and when you are drawn to passionately serve the evolving story of the unity of all beings, your soul is empowered to shine its ecstatic, all-knowing light into your heart. You experience the birth of higher, soul-guided intuition. I was waking up. For sure, I was waking up. And then fast forward a bit, and I had divorced, and I was at the Philippi Mansion at a wedding, and the wedding singer caught my eye. The wedding guitar player behind his back kind of guy. The heart's opening slowly defies the gravitational pull of buried wounds. Faith is now alive and vividly experienced, not just a set of ideas you have been told to believe. It has the power to lift you out of the ashes of crisis and despair, and can even enable you to soar towards complete liberation. Heart opening propels you into a new life like no other force. And then in November of 2008, do y'all remember that time? Yeah. You remember that financial upheaval time, that time of unrest? I decided to go back to school. I had been a full-time realtor, got my license in 1982. I was rocking and rolling. I might have had 20 listings at the time, and I was doing short sales, and I heard, stop. Had loads of debt from all the advertising I was doing for all those listings, the fancy car with the sunroof and the leather seats and all that. And I heard, go to school, change, do a 180. You need something sustainable, something that would fill you. So January, I entered school at Eckerd College and got my BA for human development. And then later went on and got my master's in consciousness studies. Erwin Laszlo, the founder of systems theory and general evolution theory, said, "The light that shines forth in you is cosmic and infinite. Treasure it, foster it, evolve it. It's your identity as a cosmic being, and fostering and evolving this light is the meaning of your existence. It's the task you are here to fulfill. You're here to pursue this responsibility not only in your present life, but in life after life. And then a day came where, through visioning, literally just finished visioning with Bobby, and I looked at him with tears. I was literally sobbing at this point, and I said, I can't not. I can't not. I heard the call so strongly to start this community so we could do this. I can't not. I answered that call, and I knew I left heartache and heartbreak and pain behind me, and I took some of that with me, and through the love and support of my mentors, I healed that. And here's what Michael Singer has to say. The wounded healer surrenders all attachment to protracted suffering and has the courage to step into the unknown and even to face more wounding. Such a healer sets the precedent for total surrender to using all experiences for one's own spiritual growth and the well-being of others. I'm so grateful I listened to that call. Something said to me, sing. Sing to this child. Sing. How amazing she is. I've got to get to play with that child this afternoon. She's, 28 months now, my granddaughter. Peace is the radiance that emanates in the roots of every being. It radiates infinite appreciation for the gift of life and carries the harmonic codes of all existence from the heart of the universe. I still sing that song to her if she's crying, if she's upset, if we're having a hard time communicating. And she goes, amazing, amazing. She's heard that since she was born. Can't wait to sing it at her graduation. I'll just stand right up. And then here's where I am today. I am so passionately called to do this practical peace-building work. And I know, even though it seems difficult and it doesn't seem welcome and it's not part of the script for the Centers for Spiritual Living, that practitioners and ministers in this teaching are peace builders, and we are called to do this work. It is our work to be the peace builders in the world. And so while I've been doing these workshops for the public, for everyone, my prayer is that I'm able to take all the practitioners that are interested and all the prac students that are interested and anyone that is already a therapist and has those kind of chops about them that wants to do this work, that wants to do conflict coaching, that wants to do restorative justice in our communities, will. And we will be known as peace builders. When you hear the voice, that's the permission. It's not an external approval or position or permission that we seek when we hear the voice. Peace is always giving. Giving voice and giving silence. Giving presence and giving space. giving respect, and giving support. But more than anything, peace gives creativity the courage to evolve beyond every form of resistance. What do you hear? What do you hear? What is the voice saying to you? The voice that maybe you listen to and maybe you don't. Maybe you find it scary to step out. Ask a practitioner for support. You have 3 ministers here, Reverend Diana, Reverend Emil, myself. Ask someone for support. That one comes into form and multiplies and diversifies itself, colors the world with each one of us in a unique, spontaneous, vibrant, dynamic way. Don't say no. Don't say no. So thanks for letting me indulge myself. I love you.
Thank you, Rev T. Wow. Yesterday, Frankie and I were practicing our music for today. And an original song we had been practicing for a while to do. I listened to the still small voice, but it wasn't mine, it was Frankie's, and she said, "Dinah, this song isn't right." And I was like, "Okay, what do we need to do to make it right?" And she said, "I don't think we can." I said, "Okay, what do we need to do?" She said, "We need to do a different song." I said, "That sounds reasonable." But we sing tomorrow. So what's something we know really well? And she was like, "Nah, I want something fresh." I was like, "We sing tomorrow." So a friend grabbed my book, and I had scribbled these words down last year in April. And Frankie took an old boogie woogie tune and put to some new thought words. And I hope you enjoy this thing called life. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step into the bright light, the sun's on my face. This is how we will win life's race. This thing called life. This thing called life. We'll reaching for a higher vibe. After Sunday service, I can take on the world. By Wednesday, my brain's in a swirl. Got me thinking about my thinking ways. Imagination sometimes messes with my days. Take it on now. Just finished work and now there's chores to do. How to be spirit, I'm so human to this thing called life. This thing called life. We're reaching for a higher vibe. After service Sunday, I can take on the world. By Wednesday, my brain's in a swirl. Got me thinking about my thinking ways. My imagination fills my days. I listen within Trust who I am. Take a deep breath and whisper, I can. This thing called life. This thing called life. We'll reach it for higher five. We'll reach it for higher five. Let's keep reaching for higher five. Thank you. Frankie Taylor, how about that?
Wow. Thank you, Diana and Frankie. And now it's my difficult task to bring us back down into a meditative state as we prepare for giving back to the source of our good. And that's our time of offering. And so, to prepare for that, if you would take your gift, if you have it physically with you, and place it over your heart. If you're giving online, through online banking, place your hand over your heart anyway, and just know that that gift that's virtual is also going forth to support and further this teaching in this center. And just know with me right now that the divine flow blesses this offering and multiplies it abundantly and returns it back to me so that I can give again. And I give thanks that I may share of my good, my love, and my support. And so it is. And now, joyful noise.
Thank you, Jim. Let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
And we thank you so much for your gifts here given. I have a few announcements, and I'll try to make them brief. First of all, we have an information center over by the entranceway. So if you would avail yourself of all that information, we have information about our newsletter, our Facebook page. We have information about ways to be in community here, in spiritual community. We have a spiritual living circle that I conduct every Wednesday evening. And also Reverend Diana has a heart, mind, spirit recovery group on Friday evenings. Also, we do have Bad Girls of the Bible. Doesn't that sound interesting? So if you're interested in that, please see Angelica Redleaf about that. Angelica, and it's all over there at the Information Center as well. So take it. All right. All right, see Angelica also. Okay. Also, next week after the service at 1 p.m., there's going to be a celebration of life service for Clarita, who was the daughter of our Josie, who's a member here. So plan to stay for that if you're so moved to do so. I'm the practitioner of the day and would be happy to know your truth with you if you have something that you would like spiritual support, and we can meet over by the screen to my left. And I would be glad to spend a few minutes with each of you that has a request like that. Also, you can make your requests online through prayer@cslculturalcoast.org. That would be emailing. Or you can drop it in the box, fill out a form and drop it in the box over there as well. We do ask that after the final song, if you would please remain seated, because we have some instructions for you about what to do with the seating here for our workshop that's coming up. So if you would just stay seated after the final song. And also, If you have not signed up for the workshop that Reverend Theresa is conducting at 1 p.m., you're still welcome to join us. It's a love offering basis. It's the final session of the peace building series that she's been conducting.
And you can run over there and get some food and come right back.
Yes. So get some food and come back, or if you've already brought it, go ahead and have your lunch. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joyful Noise for our final song. And then remember, stay seated, please. Thanks.
There's a light at the center of every home. It can light the world just like the sun. There's a flame within us that can light our way. It can burn away the darkness of a troubled day. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine within. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Whenever you see darkness, you've got to know that the light is within. Everywhere you go, whatever you are facing, whatever's on your mind, you can help illuminate it. Let your light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let your light shine. Whatever you are facing, whatever's on your mind, you can help illuminate. Let your light shine.